Yo, yo, yo. I think I'm live. Let me just check real quick. It's been a while. Amazing. Guys, what's going on, man? Happy Easter Monday. Hope you all had an amazing Easter. Not eating too much chocolate, spending some time with the family, watching films, relaxing, going out, right? Hopefully the weather's been great. It's been good down here, nice and, down here in Devon. I thought I'd just jump on here and just do a quick live, talking about how I went ahead and actually quit my job in 2021. Yeah, so 2021. What happened is this. Okay, I'm just going to break it down like to the ridiculous right now. Let's go on, David. So long story short, I was brought up into a normal family, and my mum was a policewoman, my dad works in a factory. I got no grades in school. I kind of rebelled when I was about 13 because my parents broke up and I just went crazy. And then I went to school and I just didn't have I didn't get any grades. So obviously I just messed around. And coming out of school, I just fell into a job, and I think this is what most people do. They just fall into a job. I put in the caption that most people that they're following the wrong roadmap. Okay, because we're following the path that we're being shown, most of our life, right? Which is go to school, get good grades, get a good paying job. Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out that that's actually never actually worked, has it? Really? Well, it's worked if you want to work until you're 65, 70, retire, right? Live on a pension, right? So if that's the goal, definitely follow that plan. But if you want freedom, then you need to find a way to create freedom. Does that make sense? So what happened to me is obviously I was just going with the flow, like a dead fish, like most people do, just going with the flow. And I was a firefighter, did that for 4 years. People were proud of me. Then got a job in a factory. Got to 26, kind of hit rock bottom because I looked to my left and right and I saw people that were there 20 years longer than me, 30 years longer than me. They were overweight. They didn't really like their life. They did the same year, 30 years, the same year 30 times over. And I'm like, wow, like that's gonna be me if I don't change things. Okay, so here's the first step to how I quit my job. The first step, ready for this? I had a desire to do it. Like I actually wanted to actually do it. That's the first step, desire. Now I think a lot of people on a level kind of have that desire. Okay, especially if you're being honest. Okay, a lot of people, they're not honest. They're really not honest with what they really want and what they don't want in life. They live in denial. They live in quiet desperation. They don't want to admit that they're not happy with their situation because that's going to make them look weak. Does that make sense? But I was like, nah, I don't care like how looking weak. Like, I'm not. I don't want to be. I don't want to be cool and broke, right? I want to be free. Okay, so I was like, yeah, okay, I'm ready for more. Okay, I'm ready for more. It takes courage, number one, to say, listen, I'm ready for more. Okay, that's the first step, desire. The second step was this: I had to make a decision that I was actually going to do it. This is where most people mess up. They don't make a decision. They think they make a decision. Yeah, I'm going to do it, right? And they're fired up for a week. They're fired up for 2 weeks. They're fired up for 3 weeks. But when they realize that they're going to have to change who they hang around, when they realize they're going to have to change what time they wake up, when they realize that, oh, it's the same, like you have to build like habits, you have to reprogram your mind, it's not going to happen overnight. They quit, which means they didn't really make the decision. Okay, so when I had the desire, and then I found this book here, Think and Grow Rich, and there's a chapter 7, chapter 7, no, chapter 8, sorry, on decision, right? The mastery of procrastination, meaning the opposite to decision is procrastination. Most people aren't lazy; they just don't have a vision. They haven't made a decision. Does that make sense? Oh, I just haven't got the motivation, or you haven't got a decision. That's what it is. You haven't got a decision. When you make a decision, the motivation finds you. Okay, right now you haven't made the decision to change your generational curse. Right now you haven't made a decision to show your children how to win at this game of life. Okay, so right now you haven't made a decision to live the life you're supposed to live. Okay, so when you made a decision, like I did, made a decision, right? I then started to attract mentors. I started to attract opportunities. I started to attract ideas. I started to attract everything that I needed for the accumulation of freedom. Okay, now, but this leads me on to the third step because with the desire, that's cool, well done. I want more, fantastic. Number two, I'm gonna make it happen. Let's do it. Number three is discipline. This is where you see, because what happens is you make a decision, you're fired up. What happens is the emotion of like I'm fired up starts to go, right, and that's when discipline kicks in. Does that make sense? This is the same with like health and fitness, okay? Because how many times have you started a diet plan? Yeah, I'm fired up. I'm gonna get in the best shape of my life, and you're on fire for a week. You're on fire for 2 weeks. All of a sudden, the emotion leaves you, and because you have got zero discipline, you're relying on motivation. As soon as the motivation fades off, bang, you've gone. No decision made. So you need to understand that a decision is something you don't waver on. If I'm like, no, listen, I'm gonna make 10,000 a month. I'm gonna die trying. Like I'm gonna get to 10,000 a month because once I get to 10,000 a month, I'm gonna be able to live the lifestyle that I really want. Okay. So guys, it took me 4 years to get to that goal. It took me 4 years to get to 10,000 a month. Okay. But I'll be honest. Here's the cool thing about making a decision. The second you make a decision, you already feel like that goal is done because you're like, well, I'm not stopping until it's done. So it's already done. So now you can start to like plan. You can start. Do you know what? That's already done. Do you know what I mean? So like, are you like you can talk to your spouse. Look, you want to definitely get ready. I mean, you probably want to get ready to. I mean, I won't worry what your boss is saying because you're not going to be there for too long, right? Because I'm going to be at 10,000 a month soon. So once that happens, you're free. You know what I mean? So if I was you, I'd start thinking of like, what do you enjoy doing because you're gonna be living a free life soon. Because I'm doing X, Y, Z. Does that make sense? So like you start to actually plan for your success because you like I've made the decision. It's do or it's die. It's that extreme. Okay, get rich or die trying, like 50 Cent says, right? That's the second step. Decision. Third step is discipline. This is the key. You see, some of you like this. Some of you. It's almost like the second that you don't want to do something, you instantly forget about your family. You instantly forget about that conversation that you just had with your wife, with your husband, saying, "Listen, you're going to be free. We're going to be doing this. Maybe should we start looking at better homes? Do you want that car? Should we start looking right? Because you forget because now you constantly, how do I feel? How do I feel? Right? The alarm goes off, and you're over here like in your feelings, like snoozing it. You overindulge because you can't control yourself. You don't go to the gym because you don't want to go to the gym. Like who cares? Like who cares what you want to do? Once you made the decision, it's who cares? Your feelings are the last thing that you start to consider. You're like, so most people, oh, well, my intuition's starting to tell me. No, what it is your belief system wants you to be depressed, overweight, and poor. Okay, so if you want to be happy, in shape, and rich, you need to go against what you want to do and do what you have to do. So I was getting a phone call. Does that make sense? Discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and actually follow it. Okay, so that's how I quit my job. I had the desire. Man, I don't want to be fat. Man, I don't want to be trading my time up for money. Okay, I don't want to be, living an average life. Okay, I don't want that. No offense to people. If you do want that, fantastic. You know what I mean? Like nothing against you. But I'm just honest. Okay. Number two. Number two. I made the decision. Listen, I don't care if it takes me 10 years. I don't care if it takes me 20 years. I'm gonna figure this out. Why? Because I know one day I'm gonna have children, and I want to be able to give them options. I want to be able to give them choices. Hey, listen, do you know what? If you want a job, son, well, that's absolutely fine. But you do know that you don't have to have a job if you don't want to. You can actually do X, Y, Z. Now I've got some substance. You can't tell that to your kids if you only have a job. You can't say that. How many times have you told your children, you can do what you want, you can have what you want? They must look at you sometimes and be like, really? Why aren't you doing that, Mum? Why are you settling for this then, Mum? Why are you settling for this then, Dad? Really? They're not going to say that. They're going to feel it. They're going to feel it. Trust me. It's actually a form of neglect. Not to make you feel bad, but if it does make you feel a little bit bad temporarily, great. Get off your ass and do something about it. It's a form of neglect to tell your children, hey, listen, you can have, be, and do anything you want. And then you're over here being lazy, procrastinating, and making excuses up as to why you can't win. See, I love my family enough to actually change their life. Right? And that's something I want to invite you all right now, because not a lot of people that say, read the books, feel good. That's great, but let's take action. Let's have discipline. Let's go ahead and actually change your life. Only listen to people that actually have the results that you want, like I did in 26. And everything starts to get better, guys. It really is. Very, very simple, very black and white, guys. It really is. It really is. Is the path that you're on right now going to give you the results that you really want? If the answer's no, don't wake up tomorrow and just do it anyway. Wake up tomorrow. Don't even wake up tomorrow. Like go to bed tonight. Before you go to bed tonight, plan out, what are we going to do? Like, what do we want? What do we want to look like? How much money do we want to earn? Forget the how. Don't look at circumstances. How much money do you want to earn? Is it 10,000 a month? Then write it down. Is it 100,000 a month? Write that down. Write it down. Read it every day. Start reading books like Think and Grow Rich. Start listening to, just some amazing information like You Too Can Be Prosperous, You Were Born Rich, Bob Proctor, The Magic of Believing. Okay, I'm reading the greatest salesman in the world right now, Og Mandino. Really good book. And just that's how the law of attraction works. Create a dream board. Go and look at the cars that you want. Go and sit in the homes that you want. Okay, you're going to really start attracting new things, new opportunities, new people, new events and circumstances. But most people, they're looking at circumstances and say, oh, because there's no evidence, I'm not going to make a decision. Because there's no evidence of how I'm going to do it, I'm not going to go for it because I'm scared of failing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay the same, which is basically failing anyway, because I don't have freedom, I don't have the body I want, I don't have the relationships I want, I don't have the lifestyle I want, so I'm already failing. So instead of making a decision to win, I'm going to stay failing because I'm scared of failing. Doesn't make sense. People literally do not think. They're scared of failing whilst failing. Doesn't make sense. Do you know what I'm saying, guys? Like, what are you doing? A goal is not a limit either. People say this, I don't want to set a goal because I'm sort of limiting myself. No, you're not. Have you done 10,000 before? No. Let's make that your first step. Let's make that your first step. Once we get there, bro, we can move it to 20. Once we get there, bro, we can move it to 50. Once we get there, bro, we can move it to 100. Relax. But if you've never done it before, you have to be open to... The reason why you've never done it before is because the way you think right now. Does that make sense? You have to change the way you think. Right now you think a goal's a limit. That's probably why you're limited. How about we remove the limit, set yourself a goal, it's a stepping stone, it's a target, we have to give our reticular activating system something. How do you know who to listen to without the goal? How do you know who you need to hang around without the goal? If your goal is to do 10k a month, you can't hang around people earning 2,000 a month. Well, you can, but not for long, because you'll catch what they've got. Does that make sense? You'll catch it. You'll catch the 2,000 a month frequency. You need to catch the 10,000 watt frequency. I'm not saying you're better than them. What I'm saying is it's a way of thinking. It's a standard. It's a standard of life. To get around people that have what you want, make a decision, have discipline. You can have, be, and do anything you want. Anyone watching this right now, if you are in a situation and you want to change it, i.e. your job, whatever, you can make a decision and change your life. And if you want me to show you how to do it as well, reach out to me, because we've got an amazing opportunity, an amazing franchise, an amazing platform, and we teach people a very simple way to start making money in the first 7 days. And then if you want to go ahead and build a huge organization, we can teach you that as well. So reach out to me if you do need a vehicle. But even if you don't fancy working with me right now because I've just hurt your feelings, and you're like, do you know what? I'm going to unfriend Jake. I'm going to unfriend him right now. At least after you've unfriended me, after you've unfollowed me, can you at least get a piece of paper out, sit down with your missus, sit down with your family and say, should we decide what we want? I know he's an absolute arsehole, but he's also got a point. All right, guys, happy Easter. I love you all. God bless.